feel that we always get through it, but the IPO market opening up is really the leader of the market coming back to full strength.
We're here at the annual Uncharted Summit in Southampton, New York, a day filled with key speakers, attendees from founders to funders and public companies as well. And I'm honored to be joined now by Koplovitz. She is the co-founder and chair of the board at Springboard Enterprises, as well as the founder of USA Networks. Kay, welcome.
Well, thank you. What a beautiful day to be out here.
It is truly beautiful indeed. What brings you to Uncharted today?
It's the connection in the community. I work with a lot of entrepreneurs, but I also work with funders, people who are investors. Myself, I'm also an investor, as well as someone running a nonprofit accelerator for women in technology and life sciences. So this is a good community because there are a lot of both people with funding, people who are entrepreneurs, also corporate executives who work with these companies. It's a good combination for the work that I do.
Yeah, good combination indeed. And I want to hear more about your work, Kay, and where you see opportunity right now.
Well, I mean, there are the sectors that people would like to invest in. We talk about the New York Stock Exchange. Obviously, we're talking about public companies. And the appetite for public companies is sort of moderated somewhat since the COVID and certainly since Liberation Day. And they're thinking about, well, when is that IPO market really going to come open and be robust? Because that's really what drives all the other investments in the venture world. And I've been through a lot of cycles. I've been doing this for 25 years. We've been through the dot-com cycle, the economic, worldwide economic cycle, the pandemic, and now this. And I feel that we always get through it, but the IPO market opening up is really the leader of the market coming back to full strength. And at the beginning of this year, I thought the IPO market and even the M&A market would come along much stronger. Right now, we're going through a little bit of a bumpy time, but we all are because of the trade wars and all that going on. We don't know how it's going to settle out, but I do think that still the public markets are a target for companies that are building in the innovation economy. So that's the area that we're in right now. Like a lot of people out here in our charter are meeting and talking about their plans.
And I know, yes. And I know you talk a lot about women and focus on women. What more can you share with us in terms of women as an asset class worth investing in?
Yes, I really think I've seen in 25 years a big change in terms of the number of women, let's say angel investors, women bring early money to market, 9 times as many as there were in 2000. So that's from 5% to 47% of the angel investors are now women, which they are looking at companies, not only companies run by women, but they are more likely to look at companies run by women. Then we talk about the number of VCs who are women. It's very clear that when there's a VC who has the power of the pen of writing checks, a woman entrepreneur is much more likely to be invested in by that company, by that firm. And so that's doubled from 10% in almost 20% now. So that's an advancement. We're also seeing, for example, the wealth that women have has changed dramatically. It was about $5 trillion globally in 2000. In 2030, it's projected to be $30 trillion. And some of this is wealth transfer. Some of it is women who have earned it. Some of it is women who have entrepreneurs started companies and had great liquidity events. So in our group, we have companies like that have gone public most recently are sort of Age Bio, which is in longevity, Ask Bio, which is a company in therapeutics, therapeutic changes that are in gene editing. These are things that are really coming to the forefront of the marketplace. But then we have companies like Canva, one of the biggest design communications companies in the world. probably the largest one in our group, now valued at $26 billion. Our companies at Springboard, out of 930 companies, we've had 28 IPOs, 238 positive M&A events for the companies and the investors. And we have many more on the way, ready, coming up the growth stream. So we're seeing a change in the momentum behind women. And I want people to know about that, because women actually generate, and this is across the board, that's not just a Springboard, this is across the markets. And don't forget, women have to compete in the open market against everybody. They're not just competing with women. So, for example, women CEOs and founders generate 78% more capital per invested, more revenue for invested capital. They exit companies about 12.5% earlier, and at 9% higher valuations. Now, if you're an investor, that makes a lot of sense. These are really performing companies, and I think that it took quite a while. When we came and started Springboard, there was no connection for women. We were the first ones out there. We've seen a gradual building throughout this 25 years. Now we have real momentum in things like women's health, digital health, retail, technology. There are many sectors, but we have a lot in biotech also, and also in quantum computing. You'd be surprised about the theoretical physicists we have in our group. Really, really highly qualified people, women who are really bringing great companies to market. And some of the companies that have come through, like iRobot, Constant Contact, companies like that that have come through, that have gone public in the public markets, and Zipcar, and I could go on. I mean, there's been many companies that have been large that people would recognize, and some in more specific, let's say, scientific companies that maybe not the general public knows as much, unless it's some area that but more companies in climate change and fintech. So women are really across the board, and I think people need to know that. I call it a rising asset class.
Okay, we're gonna leave it there. Thank you so much for joining. Incredible to get your insight, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day at Uncharted.
I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be great. The speakers are about to rev it up here.
Let's do it. Thanks, Kay.